are you? Today I brought an amazing recipe for you who want to improve the health of your bones and joints, for you who suffer from arthritis, joint pain, for you who want to prevent or help treat as a complement osteoporosis and osteopenia, or want to prevent these problems. You're going to love this video. These ingredients are easy for you to incorporate into your daily routine, and they're very powerful with many effects that will help you. You're going to love it. Stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you, what bothers you the most? Is it your bones or your joints? Do you feel any kind of pain? Do you take any medication or supplements? Or do you follow any special diet trying to improve this? Write to me down below in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Remember to like the video. It really helps me here and shows YouTube that you trust me and it supports my content. To get the recipe, take a look at the description because I always put the ingredients there with the quantities and nutritional information, okay? My first ingredient is going to be sesame seeds. Sesame is one of the vegetables with the highest calcium content out there. In fact, sesame milk actually has comparatively more calcium than cow's milk itself, and it's going to be an excellent addition to our recipe. Besides calcium, sesame contains magnesium, zinc, lignans like sesamin, and it has a bone protective effect with essential minerals for bone mineral density. Lignans have an antioxidant and hormone modulating effect, which is especially useful for women during this stage of skin changes and menopause, and they can also help improve joint stiffness due to their anti-inflammatory action and natural lubrication of the joints. Another seed I'm going to add here is chia seed. And as you already know from several of my videos, chia seeds contain precursors to omega-3, which means that on their own, they are very anti-inflammatory, but that's not all. Chia is also an excellent plant-based source of bioavailable calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, which are involved in bone mineralization. In addition, it has an anti-inflammatory effect. That's due to its fatty acid content. It helps reduce systemic inflammatory markers, and we already know about its role in assisting with weight control, right? Which is important because excess weight worsens joint and bone pain, so that's another very important point. I'm also going to add ground cinnamon here because it'll be easier to incorporate into our recipe this way. Cinnamon contains cinnamaldehyde and polyphenols, which reduce systemic inflammatory markers. They protect cartilage and connective tissues. In addition, cinnamon also has an effect on bone metabolism because it can modulate advanced protein glycation, which accelerates bone and joint degeneration in the elderly and in people with diabetes. Besides that, it also improves our circulation. In this way, it promotes tissue nourishment, helps with recovery, and maintains joint health. Similarly, I will also add ground ginger. Ginger contains gingerol and shogale, which are well-studied compounds with great anti-inflammatory potential, even comparable to some medications. Of course, the idea is not to replace any medication, never do that on your own, but just to show you how powerful ginger's anti-inflammatory effect is. Many studies have already confirmed that ginger has a natural anti-inflammatory effect. By inhibiting inflammatory prostaglandins, it helps relieve joint pain and can also help reduce pain without those harsh side effects, which normally anti-inflammatories naturally have. Some studies have also shown that regular consumption of ginger in people with osteoarthritis led to improvements in morning stiffness. People with rheumatoid arthritis wake up in the morning with a lot of joint stiffness, which worsens their mobility. So ginger can also be a complementary aid in these cases. I'm also going to add turmeric powder here, which is rich in curcuminoids, especially curcumin, which also has a widely studied and scientifically proven anti-inflammatory effect. So in fact, it can help reduce inflammation and pain in the joints and bones as well. Studies also suggest that curcumin stimulates the activity of osteoblasts, which are the cells that form bone, and inhibits osteoclasts, which are the cells that reabsorb bone. So it helps prevent bone loss. We also know that turmeric is better absorbed when combined with healthy fats, and we have healthy fats here in the chia seeds and sesame seeds to help improve its bioavailability. The last spice I'm going to add is nutmeg, which contains eugenol and other bioactive compounds, as well as antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. It also has anti-inflammatory and analgesic effects, working to reduce local inflammatory mediators in the joints, and, as I mentioned, it has antioxidant properties that help protect connective tissues such as cartilage and ligaments. And it will go really well, flavor-wise, with the rest of our spices here. Last but not least, I'm going to add a large dose of protein here, which is extremely important for bone and joint health, and it's something we don't usually think about. I'm going to use whey protein, which, besides being a complete protein, a protein with high biological value, it also has a high concentration of leucine, which even stimulates muscle growth. If you don't have whey, you can also use powdered milk, which might be more accessible for you, but if you can use whey, it will be more beneficial. Since whey supports muscle mass, it helps with preservation and reduces joint overload, lowering the risk of falls, which we know can happen, right? And this is a very important factor in preventing some fractures that many people end up having. It also stimulates bone formation because these highly available amino acids promote collagen and bone matrix synthesis, and it's also a source of calcium, so it ends up having even more beneficial effects. Remember to store this in a closed container with a screw cap or lid so it lasts longer. It doesn't need to be refrigerated, okay? Just for storage, and you can eat 1 or 2 tablespoons a day, depending on the rest of your diet and your needs. I'm going to eat it here with plain yogurt. There's a recipe on the channel showing how to make yogurt. But remember, you can also add it to chopped fruit, green juice, smoothies. Tell me, where would you add this fantastic mix for your bones and joints? I would love to see your comment. Look, just 1 spoonful. Look at the consistency it gives the yogurt. It's wonderful, and the taste is amazing. Try it. You'll love it for sure. And it's very practical for you to start adding these ingredients to your daily routine. If by any chance you can't find or don't have one of the ingredients, just use what you have. Of course, if you can add everything, it will be even more beneficial. But if you can't or have any specific contraindication for any ingredient, just leave it out. No problem. Take this opportunity to share this amazing tip with someone you know who needs it. A lot of people need more ideas and good recipes for bones and joints. And don't forget to leave your like. That's really important to me. The flavor is amazing, and you don't need to sweeten it because the whey is already naturally sweetened, so it's really convenient. Make it at home, you're going to love it. See you next time. Bye.